Good morning, everyone. So today is going to be number 2 garden tour. So it has been 24 days since my last garden tour I recorded. A little update for you as far as the weather goes. Let me go down to where I want to start the garden tour, and then because the sun is starting to, I was trying to get out here before the sun came up, but you're about to be blown away by this garden. I'm blown away. I'm so blown away, I'm almost scared of it. Okay, so this is about where I started the last time in my garden. So little update. So I recorded the last garden tour on May 26th, and today is June 19th. Wow, I'm so surprised to know the date. I actually just looked. Because what I did is I went back and I looked at my video and I took some pictures, so some screenshots of parts of my garden, because what I want to do is, as I go through, I want to throw up those pictures to show you the difference that 24 days made in my garden. Like I said, it's going to blow you away. Let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Jen, and I am gardening in northern West Virginia. It has been a very, very rainy year so far for my garden, which I don't want to complain about it, because last year was the year of the drought and the pests. And this year things are the exact opposite so far. So like I was saying, my area has been getting so much rain, and not just rain, but flooding. West Virginia has had some incredibly horrible flooding that has taken several lives now. Just on Monday, so it's Thursday, and on Monday, in a town very near me, or I should say county, just like very next to me, 7 people have lost their lives. So it's for some, the rain has been pretty damaging, which my heart goes out to those people. I actually live on the top of a mountain, so I am incredibly grateful that the flooding hasn't. I almost feel bad saying this because of all the other people that it's destroyed their lives, their livelihood and everything, but the flooding hasn't affected like my home or anything, and it's been good to my garden. So let me show you, now that I've depressed you and depressed myself, let's show you what this garden looks like. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go in the same manner that I did with the first tour. So here's hoping I remember how to do it. So here is my little area where I have my rhubarb. It hasn't grown too much. This is Glaskin perpetual rhubarb, and right there it looks like I got a tomato plant popping up. This has grown exponentially. And then in my last garden tour, I asked what people thought this was, and it's already got seed pods, which is pretty cool because I'm going to save the seeds for this, for trading and to start seeds myself. This is Love in a Mist, you guys. So thank you for telling me what it was. Then it looks like my lettuces here are seeing some pest damage. So what I think I'm going to do is, I'll show you in a minute. I've got some bait that I put out for slugs. So this is probably slug damage because I have a lot of issues with slugs, but the flowers and things that I planted here, they're still pretty small. They haven't quite established. This here is my Mad Dog skullcap, a little bit of pest damage, and then another Glaskin perpetual rhubarb. Here's my hay bales, which they have been getting some rain, but they're doing really well. We've got peppers that are doing well. We've got shishito. which I haven't done a pepper tour here at my house yet. Sadly, I think I'm going to try to do that now. Most of my peppers at the house are hot peppers, but I do have some sweet, so I really should do a tour. As you can see here, my tomato plants need tied up again. I literally just did this Sunday. Like, no joke. It's been 4 days, and yeah, yeah, it's nuts. So, and then here is my cucumber. These were seeing some pest damage, but it looks like they're bouncing back, and they're climbing this way. So, but yeah, no cucumbers just yet on those. This area here doesn't get a whole lot of sunshine, like beating down sunshine, whereas the rest of my garden does. Do you see that thing? Yeah, we're gonna get into it. But here is this bed. So I was noticing I need to uncover it. Let me do that. Because I needed, what I wanted to do, as you can see, there's some pest damage here too. So I covered it because what I'd seen was what looked to be rabbits. And some of my lettuces, as you can see, are starting to go to seed. But now I'm seeing some other pest damage. So I am going to be putting down some DE, diatomaceous earth. And then I want to uncover it this way. Okay. So I actually want to put some taller stakes to use this once I put the DE on it. I just used what I had, but I have since ordered some more stakes. As you can see, my lettuces are huge, and I have harvested. You can see some. Okay, so you're starting to see some damage here, so I got to get some DE out on these. But the marigolds are looking lovely. And the potato, sweet potato slips are starting to actually vine out, as you can see here. But here's what I was seeing, which is why I covered them. Well, I guess you can't really see it anymore. So like a week ago, I was noticing that something was munching down the tops of these. So now it's a different pest. Let me see. I think I took a picture of these squash in this position. So I'll try to throw up a picture of what this bed looks like now and these squash. I have harvested, I think, one from this one. And as far as pruning this year, I have adopted the, if you're not pretty, you go. So leaves, any kind of like foliage that like is pest riddled or discolored or diseased, it goes. So I'm also trying to prune my squash a bit more so that the small amount of, the pollinators that I have, the small amount of pollinators that I have are able to get to the flowers. Because that's one thing I haven't really done in the past, is prune my squash too much. And this year I want to, and I've also put stakes pretty much on all of them so that I can try to trellis them upwards. Some of them I have, so this one here you can see I have yet to tie it up, but there are some you're going to see that I have done it with. All right, so I believe what I did was I went down each side, but here you can see some more hay bales with things in them, basils, peppers, that are just looking lush. And then it appears there is a bean that popped up there. I'm gonna let that go because I'm not sure what it is. Here is one of my fuzzier plants. This is Cherokee Purple and Red Fuzzy. This might be, yeah, this is the F1 cross. Okay, so Craig LaHoulier sent me some seeds. If you don't know who Craig LaHoulier is, he is the author of Epic Tomatoes. So if you're a fan of tomatoes, he's the author of that book, as well as Straw Bale Gardening. he has been on Tomato Talk Live a few times with us. He's going to be on again in August. So tune in for our August episode of Tomato Talk Live. And we're going to be just absorbing all of his knowledge. But this plant right here is a cross that he made, I'm thinking last year, or I'm not sure when he made it. But he sent me seeds for 2 of the crosses that he made. He sent the F1 seeds to this one. And I planted F1 so I could save a bunch of seeds myself for it so I could grow out more of the F2s. But he did send me F2 seeds, and the F2 seeds, so all the plants that I grow the F2, I think I have 8 of those plants, are over in Materville, or Materville/Pepperville. And they're so different. There are so many that are so different. So this is Cherokee Purple crossed with Red Furry. I have another one that is a dwarf. It's dwarf Elsie's Fancy and Dwarf Walter's Fancy and Sweet Zoe's Sweet. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Which is a variegated /chartreuse plant, which is incredible. But this one was Cherokee Purple was like fan favorite. Then Red Furry, because I just love unique foliage. So the F1 plant is actually kind of furry. I don't know if you can tell. I have furrier plants than this, but this one is definitely of the fuzzier type of foliage. As you can see, I think you can tell a little bit more when you get to the upper growth, but we're gonna see what kind of, I don't know what kind of tomato the F1, sorry, my nails, again, dirty. They're always dirty. So. Okay, so, but that's what this plant is, and it's doing incredibly well. As you can see, more tying up needs done. My poor ground cherry, my strawberry ground cherry is just getting pest riddled. And then this happened yesterday during again, we had another major storm. Ben just got home last night, but he is going to come down here and cut this up because I can't move it, clearly. It's it goes a huge branch that has fallen off of what I think is this tree here. So it's my neighbor's tree. It is a big old tree, but one of the limbs has come off, and you can see it's a huge limb, so it goes clear down there. So I cannot move this, but it's like on my fence a little bit, smashed my fence a little bit, but I'm just happy. It was like kind of curved, so you see where it's curved right there, so it just kind of stopped and hit the hit the ground perfectly to where it didn't actually bring down my fence. But cucumber plants, climbing up it. I think I'm actually going to bring my bait over here. I'm getting close to the bait area. This pepper plant is getting rid of it. I'm having a big issue with slugs because it's just been so wet, and I use a lot of mulch. I use it's perfect environment for these slugs. So let me show you here another tomato plant. I've just tucked them everywhere, but yeah, you can see here some pest riddled damage on stuff. I've been trying to keep up with it. Look, see, but it's beer. This is beer, and it has caught some of the big ones. I did go around on Saturday or Sunday and picked, I don't know, like 100 slugs off of these things. It's nuts. There's just so many. But I mean, these plants may bounce back. They may not. I don't know. But I'm gonna take this over here. We'll just set it right here. Let's check. I've been checking. I've been trying to stay on top of it, but I do also work 3 days a week. My poor bean plant. Yeah. They just munch. And then I planted beans in here. I showed in my last video. I showed in my last garden tour. I had planted beans in here, and like one popped up in each pot. I planted several, like 30 beans, and only one popped up in each of these. And so then I had some leftover onions that as you can see, I planted in these 4 pots that are far and beyond bigger than what's in here. But then the slugs came and chomped down a whole bunch of them. So there's only a few left. That's okay. But yeah, you can see I've got different kinds of onions in here. This one is giant Musselman leek. There's also leeks, onions, and I believe some shallots as well. So yeah, you can see some pesticides damage. This is my white habanero. I'm going to bring down, now that I see that the slug and beer thing actually works, I'm going to bring down several more bowls and see if I can't catch some more of these little buggers. Because yeah, the plants are, they're struggling. I did a tomato tour, like specifically of all the varieties. So I don't go through the varieties in like my actual garden tour. So if you're interested in that, I'll probably do another tomato tour at some point soon. But okay, so along the fence line here, I always do a bunch of grow pots. This tomato plant is going bonkers in this pot. It's doing really well. My eggplant, I think I took a picture of these eggplants, so I'll throw up what they look like 24 days ago. But we have a flower. Look at that pretty, pretty flower. So yeah, see, like this foliage, yucky looking. Getting rid of it. So anything that just is not all that good looking. I mean, clearly some of this is pest riddle, but it's looking for the most part really good. And I don't want to remove every bit of foliage because it's got to photosynthesize, right? But yeah, this tomato plant needs to be pulled back over where it belongs because it's crowding my eggplant. Here I had a Zorzo white sweet pepper that did not make it. More peppers, more tomatoes, and then I tucked in some different things just to see how they would do in the ground here because I'm trying to build up better soil, right? So I did that in several different places in the corners of things. Like here's a basil plant getting eaten up by slugs. I planted something there, it's gotten eaten all up. So some things took. There's another little something that I planted and another little something, but some things are just getting eaten up by pill bugs, slugs. Here you can see everybody is doing great. The water, the rain has been good. My hollyhocks are looking nuts. I did a little pruning last night and haven't picked it up yet. But this is my hot peppers. And I'm really excited about the growth that they've got. Usually hot peppers for me take a while to get going because this area, like I said, can be a little bit more shaded. So it's shaded in the morning by all of this now, and now it's shaded in the afternoon by all these trees. But they are far and beyond bigger than last year at this point. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with what's going on right here. What is new, so you can see more pruning. These have just gotten decimated by slugs. This is slug damage. I picked, I don't know how many slugs off this thing that day. And there's probably even more. But these are my potatoes. I just did one grow bag of potatoes. I was gonna start another one, but I have yet to get it filled. But yeah, I think it's about time to, I don't know that at this point they look horrible, so I don't know that they could do anything else. This kind of got forgotten about, honestly, while I was trying to maintain this jungle. And then one day I came down here and looked at this and I was like, oh crap. It's decimated, especially like this area right here. Look at that. Just destroyed. They just ate it all up. And there were some big honkers of slugs on this. So yeah, there's that. Then over here is where I had, I'll throw up a picture, I had all of the cardboard. There was a big old pile of cardboard that I saved throughout the winter, and I moved it, and I trying to mulch along the fence line here, and I brought down some garden soil / mushroom compost, and I planted some different flowers here that you haven't seen. So this wasn't here last time. So this is Sweet Nectarine Agastache. So that's what all these little plants are. And then these are straw foxglove flower. So that's those there, and they're all doing really well. Transplanted beautifully. I always water everything in that I plant with fish emulsion. And that's what I did with these, and they're all looking like they took beautifully. Just got to keep the leaves from laying on top of them. I did end up putting last night, these are Irish Spring bars of soap. So someone told me that Irish Spring soap deterred the deer, and someone else told me that they thought it attracted the deer. It stinks. It is like the most potent soap ever, so I don't know how it would attract anything. And so, but I was a little bit worried. I'm like, oh gosh, if she thinks it attracted, like, should I? So I left it in my greenhouse for a few weeks. But then last night I'm noticing, let me show you. This is new too. My veggie bed, and I got it planted up with Lauren and Jennifer tomatoes, some basils. This is Finissimo Verde Apala basil, and then some red spider zinnias. So they're all looking good. These were planted 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it hasn't been that long, and this stuff is nuts. I'm about to put up a video of how I moved this and how easy it was to move where I had it, because I had it up in my yard and I didn't like it there, and I thought this was the perfect spot for it, and it is. I think it's good. So what I'm seeing and what my plans are about to do, what Ben and I are going to do today. So I don't know if you see, it looks almost like, and I could be wrong, it could just be chipmunks, like little feet prints, like something has jumped over the fence. So deer, if it's deer, that's a big no-go for me. So we are going to double up this fence line and make it about 7.5, 8 feet tall. So we've got another couple rolls of this. This is welded wire, and we are going to just put it, what we do is we put it doubled up on here, and then the rest goes up. So think about -2 of those and how tall that'll be. So hopefully that will keep the deer out. But here I've just got a couple of things that I got from Territorial Seeds. I got a rosemary that is supposed to be really cold tolerant. And then I got a phenomenal fig plant that I put here. I just didn't know where to put them, so I just threw them in the ground, because I was just like, just put them in the ground so they can at least establish. If I need to move them, I will, but we'll just see. I also put some, these are milkweed. I wanted to attract some of the caterpillars that make monarch butterflies, and most of them are doing okay. I had a few, there was a few right here that didn't make it, but, and then I also put this is new as well, a foxglove mixed colors. So I've got 3 plants, and they all took 1, 2, 3, so that's nice. And then I also added up here some more garden soil / mushroom compost. So I'm trying to like bury the fence a little bit so things, critters, whatnot, don't want to get underneath of it. I also need to weed again. I did weed once before. This had some really tall stuff, and I weeded it, and now more's popping back up. So time to do it again. But here I planted, oh gosh, oh, this right here is a pink lavender, and then this is, what is this? I don't know what this is, but I planted a bunch of it. Where did the tag go? Oh, here it is. Carolina lupine flower. So I had a bunch of these that I wanted to plant. So let's get that in the soil here. That stays. All right, so Carolina lupine flower will make this area real pretty. All right, and then boom. Let's see, I think the picture that I took is from this side, so let me go. Oh, another thing I did is I planted a couple of pink sweets in this corner since the last garden tour. I had a couple left over and I just threw them in this corner because I was just like, let's just put them in the ground. Anybody know what this is? I showed it in my last garden tour, but it hadn't flowered or anything. How tall is it? It's probably about 4 feet tall, or 4 feet or something, and now it's flowering. It's real pretty. I planted it 3 years ago. This is where the fence used to be, and I moved it back just a little bit. That's why it's sticking out in the middle of the doorway. And I didn't want to move it as it was like already flourishing. So I may end up moving it like once these tomato plants are done. So this fall, I'm gonna probably dig it up and move it into that corner. I think it would be better in the corner there, but I don't know what it is. Could probably I know you have an app where I could take a picture of the plant, but I never do it. It's one of those things that I say I'm gonna do and then I never do, but if you know what it is, please tell me. It's easier for me to read the comments than it is for me to actually do stuff I say I'm gonna do. All right, so this here is the Monster. So this thing was very patchy 24 days ago. You could see the soil. You can't see the soil anymore. I keep having to redirect this thing because it keeps trying to go this way and that way and come this way, and I want it to just climb up the hill. I have a couple of sunflowers, but here's why I think the deer are coming in. Do you see the damage on my sunflowers? I feel like that's got to be deer, right? What climbs up that high and eats the leaves? But yeah, these are my sunflowers that are, and then there's a couple down there that have fallen over. I guess I should maybe stake them. But this one's doing really well, standing up nice and tall, and it looks like it's got its first bud, if I can get to it. Look at that. I forget what sunflower this is. It is, let me see, can I see it? Well, this is Orange Bulldog. And then this is the Monster pumpkin. And then there's some other squash in here. I have done some pruning. What's happening though is, oh, see, here's a leaf. Some leaves that I need to prune off because they are ugly. So I will prune those a little later. What's happening though is my okra is getting crowded out by everything. But I should come down here and stake these up. So I'll probably do that. I got some staking things I need to do. But I did, for the most part, fight off the cucumber beetles because they always take out my squash. I see one here or there every once in a while, but I was just diligent coming down every day for like a week and just squishing every one, so I don't think they had enough time to establish themselves. As you can see, I have some zucchini. This one I'm going to let go for a little bit longer, but this yellow one here, I could probably harvest that one. So that's exciting. I have harvested quite a few squash already. They're up in the kitchen, and I'm going to be making something with them today. Probably fried squash because it'll be my first time having it this year, and I am so excited for it. But yeah, here's one of the sunflowers that has fallen over right there. There's another one. But yeah, my squash bed is no longer able to be mulched. I was planning on mulching it with wood chips, but I'm at the point where it can't be done. The leaves will now shade the ground. That's okay. But yeah, you can see I've been trying to tie these squash up. As you see, I'm trying to get it to grow upwards. This one too. Okay, so there's my hollyhock that I planted in the corner there. That one's doing well. See, there's one of those cucumber beetles. They fly. Like, I swear they see me looking at them. And they fly away. Oh, there they are. Ah, where are you landing? I'm going to get you. Okay, we'll find them. We'll find those two later. But yeah. The more squash that I planted here on this trellis. But yeah, so I think what I did before was I went down the row and then back up, down, down, down. So that's what we're going to do. So here is my ground cherry. This is, I believe this is the strawberry ground cherry. and it is putting on some fruit. So I'm excited for that. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last garden tour, or maybe it was just a vlog, but I had like a critter that kept digging a hole right here. So I just put a pot on top of the hole, and it is a super hot beast. It was the only pepper I had of this one, and it's actually not getting pest riddled, I think, because it's up here and off the ground. But yeah, so here are, this is this row of tomatoes. Like, they have surpassed the trellis already, so like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, it's time to take my garden photo shoot. I think Ben and I are going to do that later, but you can see, yeah, almost all of these are at the top of the trellis, which is unfortunate because I can't reach. I can't even. This is, look, see here. This is as, I'm on my tippy toes. This is the hazard of having them. I could get a step ladder. Maybe next year I will add some trellis to make these taller and just have a step ladder sitting down here in the garden with me. That might be an option, because at this point I can't even reach to tie up some of the branches on these things. It's crazy, but these raised beds are pretty raised. These are, I don't know, 2.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground. Here's my other fuzzy tomato plant. You can see, I don't know if you can see how fuzzy it is, but it's really fuzzy. I have a few different fuzzy varieties, but most of them are doing okay. There's a little bit of yuck leaves, but I've been doing pretty good at trying to keep them pruned off. As far as the aphid infestation, so I've been trying my best to stay on top of things and do different kinds of sprays. I actually released last Saturday 3,000 ladybugs. Well, 1,500 in this garden and then 1,500 over in Materville. That should be coming up in a vlog. If you're interested to see like day-to-day things that I do, I do vlogs. I just walk around and show you like what I'm doing, take you along with me on days, so daily vlogs or whatnot. But yes, so there should be a vlog coming up of that. It might already be up when this goes up, I'm not sure. But I've released ladybugs to try to control the aphids. Clearly the aphids aren't doing enough damage to slow down the growth of these tomato plants. But still, I do not want those sapsuckers sucking all the nutrients out of my plants. I want my plants healthy so that they create the most delicious tomato fruits for me. So I released aphids. I also did, before I released the aphids, because I've done neem. I've done neem twice now. Twice here, twice at Materville, and it's still, they're still, and I'm not the biggest fan of neem because it bothers the, so I've been doing it in the evening, which is the best time to do it, not in the morning. So that's when your pollinators go to sleep, I guess, or they're not as active, I guess you could say, in the evening time. So I've been spraying neem in the evening, but what affects bad pests, neem, also affects the good pollinators too, like bees and things. So I'm not a huge fan of neem. So I did that a couple times and I wasn't seeing really good results. So what I did was I did a little research. What I found was, ladybugs and then molasses. So ladybugs like the molasses. So as a foliar spray, I sprayed molasses and fish emulsion. So I mixed those together. And then later on today, I'm going to do molasses, fish emulsion, and milk. So that might be in a vlog if I remember to pick the camera up when I go to do it. But it's like 2 or 4 cups of milk per gallon? I think it's 4 cups of milk per gallon. Is it 2 cups? 2 cups per 8 ounces. So I think it's like a 1-to-4 ratio. 1-to-4 ratio, if I read correctly. So it's a good bit of milk. And that also helps with diseases. It also helps add calcium to your plants. But I'm going to do it as a foliar spray. But back what I was saying, like I've done 3 different kinds of foliar sprays. Copper spray in the beginning for disease pressure. The second would be the molasses and fish emulsion, and then this third one is going to be molasses, fish emulsion, and milk. So, I mean, that might be a regimen that I start doing every year, because I mean, I can't really tell you. Every year the weather is different, so the conditions have been different. So is the reason that my plants are doing so well, is it because of the foliar sprays that I've been trying to maintain their health and add nutrients to the soil, or is it all the rain? Could be a combination of both. So I think next year I'm going to do the same kind of regimen: copper spray, molasses, and then milk mixed with fish emulsion. The copper spray I'm not mixing with fish emulsion, just the molasses and the milk. But as far as the ladybugs go, I'm definitely not seeing 1,500. Are they here? Maybe, because they would have a smorgasbord of aphids to munch on. I have seen a handful, like 20, 30 of them in different areas of my garden. They even made their way into my greenhouse, which I didn't release any in there, but I saw 2 yesterday in my greenhouse. But yeah, so I don't even know what these plants would look like if there was no pest pressure. I can't even imagine. All right, so like I said, I planted a couple more things in different little areas here, just trying to get rid of my winter sowing jugs. Was it 2 weekends ago? I think it was 2 weekends ago. So all that mess is put away. Here's some more tomato plants. More. And I tucked things in there, but they're kind of getting shaded. These look like they got eaten up by something, but they're so shaded now. I don't know that's a disco mix marigold is going to do anything. This is a little Miss Willamette. And then this is a carnation right here. I did plant something right here, but it got eaten up. Okay. This has got to be deer, right? This is deer. This has got to be deer. This was my bean plant that is now, I think, destroyed. I don't even know if there's flowers on it, but no beans. And then here's my sunflower that they munched down. So we got to do the fence today. I'm like freaking out. There's another basil I planted there. And then here I planted, what did I plant here? St. John's wort right here. I think this is, it looks different. I feel like it's attached to it, but it looks different in foliage. Something else? I don't know. But yeah, we've got some hollyhocks here. This was Calypso bush bean. Pink Senorita zinnia. And this was, what kind of hollyhock was this? Oh, there's my black granite basil. But yeah, more tomatoes. Oh, here's some baby maters. Little baby maters. All right, so here is my cup plant. That is bonkers. I am loving it. So last year I only had 1 stalk. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yeah, it's called a cup plant because it holds water like that. So your pollinators can come and get a little drink. So I'm in love with this plant. I want more. I thought I winter sowed more, but I didn't. But this one here is proven to be 10 times better than it was last year, and I'm in love with it. So I definitely want to be planting more of these next year. Here is my cucumbers. I actually harvested a cucumber from this last year, and you'll see I have these little rubber snakes. I have bigger ones, but I have yet to get them out. I need to though. But I did harvest a cucumber from this last night. It was delicious. I actually ate it while I was walking around just looking at my garden. I try to do that every evening. This is miniature white cucumber. This here, I think I have a picture of what this bed looked like from like right here. So I'll try to throw that up right now. But my white borage is going to town flowering, so I'm super excited about that. Borage is a good pest deterrent for hornworms for your tomato plants, and as well as the pollinators adore it. So you can see I've got a bee on there, back there, just floating around. You see him? So yay. And then this is my Oktoberfest calendula that has bloomed. Don't want to disturb the bee. Very pretty. So pretty. So I do want to save seeds, and you can see all the little blooms about to bloom on it. But I do need to stake it because the rain pounded it down, and it was like laying down right here last night. But yeah, so, and here's my squash going up the trellis. So yay for that. It's doing well. This was, or what was this? I don't know that this was a squash. This is a gourd. This was a Zucca gourd. So I'll try to look up a picture of what a Zucca gourd looks like. I might have put it up in my first tour. And then this is bee balm that took over. I had more Zucca gourds here, as you can probably see. This one is just getting going. I had another one here, but it's probably not. Yeah, there's a couple. There's one that didn't make it, and it's all crowded out now. I was at first, because this stuff kept growing and growing and growing, I was at first trimming it back, but I'm not going to anymore. Because I've got these. They'll do what they're gonna do, and I'm okay with that. I've got 3 of them. This one's gonna take over soon. So I have a Rudbeckia right here. This is Prairie Sun Rudbeckia. Again, the slugs love Rudbeckia, so there is some damage on the Rudbeckia, but I think it's going to establish itself. And I showed you the black granite basil. I showed you my poor beans. These were some tomato plants that are just looking lovely. Here's my peppermint zinnia that is getting eaten up by slugs, it looks like. I really need to get the infestation under control, but I'm working on it. One thing at a time, you know, like I always say, you win some, you lose some. I do my best with some things. There's only so much I can do in a day, and with working 3 days a week, you know, I've been trying to do my best. I've been coming down here more after work than I ever have before. But sometimes things, especially pests, like the slugs are getting me this year. I beat the flea beetle, not the flea beetles, I beat the cucumber beetles that got me last year. So I'm going to take what I can as a win, and some of the other stuff, I'll just try a little harder next year. Okay, I think I've got a picture of this here from 24 days ago. So this is what this looks like. These are my squash. I did tie up some. There might be one too many planted on this trellis, but whatever, that's fine. I tried to grow Zatamelon here, but it's a little too late with everything. Zatamelon got eaten up, so this is useless. That's the only one that came up, and it didn't do anything. I'm probably just not even going to bother. Maybe I'll plant some sucker tomatoes here, because I do have some sucker tomato plants going from plants that I wanted more of. And if you don't know how to propagate tomato plants, it's super easy. So when I say sucker plants, basically in your armpits of all of your tomato plants, like this right here. So this is the main stem, or one of the main stems, because I'm not doing great at pruning. So you just pinch this off and put it in soil or water. This is the sucker. that's coming out of the armpit of the main stem. So that's what I did. So I've just been suckering different ones that I want more of. So yeah, clearly this squash is doing really well. And then I've got some poor Rembrandt snapdragons that have started to flower right there. What squash is this? There's some holy basil too. Oh my gosh, let me run my fingers through that. Oh my gosh, that smells divine. Not sure what squash this is right here. Is it over here? It is, oh no, this is my Tritelia. My Tritelia Queen Fabiola. So I had planted 3 of them. 1, 2, and it looks like it's like trying to flower. This is a perennial. So I'm just gonna let these go and try to remember not to pull them like they're weeds. What's this squash? Oh, here it is. This is autumn frost squash. So it looks like it's going to try to start trellising this way, which is not great because I don't really have anywhere else to put it on here. More bean plants on this trellis, which they're up to the top and climbing across. Going this way. And I do have things planted differently on either side. Could that be a mistake as well as these plants are doing so early on in the season? Maybe, because I've never had my beans or my squash do so great. But these are low lying. Like, they're not going to get that big. These are squash that I'm going to try to trellis up. I think it's round zucchini, yeah, that I have right here. Yeah, I've harvested some off of this one. But yeah, that's what I did this year. Yeah, there's one there. There's a bunch there. But yeah, so I kind of do different on different sides. I don't know that I've ever done the same thing on both sides. It's just how I do things. I just want a bunch of different things, so I have to. And then I have not done anything with these since the last garden tour. I do plan on doing something this weekend, so fingers crossed I actually do what I say I'm going to do. Here's another incredibly large squash plant, and this is, oh gosh, what was this? This is the first time I planted this, and it's just really doing really well. It is anise hyssop, so I think that's a perennial as well. But underneath I have put some snapdragons here, and I've been tying, as you can see, to get this thing going. And I did have to pull it away because sometimes they will try to get a hold of the trellis that's like right next to it. The trellis is not far from this trellis, so I have to keep an eye on my squash plants because they do try to go over. Like this one here is trying right now. No, buddy. Like this one here is trying right now. So I'm going to pull it over and tuck it in. But yeah, they do try to grab a hold of that and then take over my tomato plants, which is a big no-no. You cannot do that. But yeah, all I did was tie them up when they got to be high enough, and then they've just kind of done their thing from there. I did tie this one up right here because it was trying to go over there. But yeah, it's coming down the other side. It's halfway down the other side, so I'm curious to see how far this thing will go. Here I had planted some zinnia. Is this a zinnia? No. What is this? I don't know. Is it a zinnia? A dahlia? I can't remember what I planted here. Bummer. And then I also planted some tiger melon right here. So I had like 5 pop up. I've only got 1 that is barely hanging on. The dang, either cucumber beetles or slugs got a hold of it and munched it down quite a bit. So I don't know if I'm going to get any tiger melon. I keep checking on it. I never see any pests on it. I don't know. And I'm afraid to, because it's still so little, I have an issue with chipmunks or squirrels or something that just come and pull. Might even be birds. pull my starts right up out of the ground when they're little like this. So I'm afraid to leave this off of here. So I've just been crossing my fingers and hoping that makes it. Another squash. I just have stuff planted everywhere, as you can see, and it's just doing great. Here is this hollyhock that I don't remember if I planted this here last year, but clearly it started growing, and I knew what it was, so I let it go. It looks like it could be, is it not Alaska? Which one is it? French. It looks like it could be the French hollyhock that I have up near my chicken coop. I'll know when it opens up if it is, but this thing is just, yeah, way up there. I can't reach the top of it. It's really tall. Another trailing squash. Clearly this one's going to, which is going to make it difficult for me because I did want to dig this out and get this filled with garden soil this summer, fall, as best I could in like the heat. It's about to get super hot here. I think next week they're calling for mid-90s. So in that kind of weather, I struggle a bit trying to do the manual labor that I do with my garden. So I don't know, we'll see. And especially if I can't get the wheelbarrow through my walkways because I've got squash climbing through it, that's gonna present a problem. So I don't know, well, I'll just play it by ear. I'll find something else to do if I can't be moving dirt. Or I could also bring the wheelbarrow here and then walk the dirt all the way down the steps. But for the bottom bed, I'm just not going to do that because I can just wheelbarrow it down here and then like tilt and dump it, which is a little easier than traveling up and down those steps. Okay, I was going to try to make this garden tour a little shorter, but clearly I am not good at that. Here we have my Honeyboat Delicatata squash that did survive. I'm not sure if this is the same one or not. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. This is no, not the Toscana basil. That's the Toscana basil. This is, that's a Martinhouse gourd, which I might actually get a Martinhouse gourd. Oh my gosh. Guys, cross your fingers that it's doing well. It's already started to trellis, so I've never gotten it past seedling stage. Here it is. This is Aster Cralin Angora. Look at that. Oh, magnificent. This is supposed to be the same thing. I planted this, and there's another Aster Cralin that's just getting crowded now by this squash plant. Oh, you can't do that. This squash plant's trying to choke it out. No, sir. All right, so let me get this guy. Come here. So, what I might do, because I really like this flower, is I'm going to pinch off that leaf so maybe it can get a little bit, because you can see it's not as tall as the other one are flowering. Let's see if I can maybe tuck this here. And then it looks, I'll just take this leaf too. And look, that might give it enough. I might give it enough light so that it can flower. But yeah, this, and this came from the same winter sowing jug. But what the heck is this? Anybody know what this is? Because it's not the same as that or that. Yeah. And then, like I said, my Martinhouse gourd. Yes. Then some more squash. So this is, I think, yellow, like a yellow squash right here. And then this one here is a honey nut squash. So I've got a couple different squash right here. The honey nut, I think, is more of a vining as opposed to this one, but I'm going to trellis it up. I mean, you can see, I need to be tilting this up and tying it up because it can go upwards. It's been a week and it wasn't ready before. It is now. Okay, so I need to be a little quicker with these garden tours. Sorry. On this side, you can see I talked about the round zucchini. I tried to grow some melons. The what was the melon I tried to grow here? The real popular one. But clearly nothing germinated, and then I am going to be saving seeds for these foxglove. Oh, yes. So all of these little pods here are going to be the seed pods, and I'll be saving those. So this had its heyday. You saw it in its glory, and now it's just kind of, I mean, I still think it's beautiful with all of its little pods. But yeah, they're even starting to brown up a bit. So cool. I'll be able to save the seeds for these very soon. Beans on this one are up and coming down the other side. So maybe whatever that melon was not growing is a blessing, because this is going to be coming over and coming down. But yeah, this was Berta Talesa pole bean. And then some more tomato plants here that I'm trellising up the other side of it. Some more things I put in the corner. Squash, another thing I put in a corner. I don't know, I think I have a picture of this, like this. I've been taking weekly pictures, which I've been way better at this year than I have any other year. More cucumbers here. The cucumber plants are doing really well, but I haven't really gotten very many cucumbers so far. I think next year I'm going to invest in some F1 hybrids that are, what do you call it? Self-pollinating. Like, they don't need to be pollinated. I did some research, and there's like 3 or 4 different varieties that I think I'm going to try to grow next year and see if I can do better at actually getting cucumbers. Which one is this one? I only did 3 different kinds of cucumbers, so it's either Silver Slicer, I think the other one's over here, so this must be Silver Slicer. I really enjoy Silver Slicer, so, but I haven't gotten any of it off of it yet. This is Silver Slicer, there's the tag. Silver Slicer. And then some flowers. I just tried to plant flowers in the fronts of here. I think it's some sort of snapdragon, it looks like. Oh no, this is Amor Salmon Salvia. So that's what that is. Another kind of bean. Again, it is up to the top. And I got 1 Rampicante squash to take right here, which is fine because this thing gets massive. It is getting ready to explode. So I'm happy I got that. Well, here's another one, but it's not doing as great. Or this might be the squash that I planted before. These are Magic Fountain Delphinium. Getting a little pest-riddled, sadly. And then up behind there is another trellis of tomatoes. Look at these babies. Here is my beans. I think I have a picture of what these looked like last time I showed them to you, and there's a bunch of hollyhocks, some more beans on that end, and then I put a slug because, oh my gosh, look at those big boys. Yeah, these were getting eaten up. As you can see, there's still little slugs lurking about. It's just been so wet. The slugs are just loving it. My plants are not, though, enjoying getting munched down. Okay, so I'll see if I can show you what this bed looked like before. As you can see, I need to do some trellising. But yeah, there's lots of fruits everywhere, and I need to do more tying up. These plants have reached the top of this trellis, and I meant to, last year, I was going to add more trellis to this trellis because, or at least some of these trellises, because here I am, and I could reach up taller if I had put more trellises on here, but now it's like it's too late because they've reached the top and I'll end up squishing them. I don't know. I may end up doing it and just trying to get them in between the plants, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, there's fruits everywhere buried in this monstrosity. There's my Jennifer Keena and Lauren row of tomatoes. Tons of tomatoes on those too. Different peppers that are just getting pest riddled by the slugs. I am doing my best. I'm doing my best, guys. But yeah, next year I need to get on top of it. But yeah, look, there's tomatoes. Which one is this one? Keena. I'm finally gonna get a Keena tomato. It's loaded with tomatoes, yeah. A little bit of disease. So I do need to do some pruning, as you can see. But yeah, tomatoes, lots and lots of tomatoes. Tomatoes. This bed here, the cabbage bed, is just getting riddled with pests. I put shade cloth on it to try to keep it from going to seed, but then I just forgot about it. And as you can see, oh, look, I have a cabbage. Oh, heck yeah. Wow, I should have been checking this. Yeah, but they're getting riddled. I should have sprayed BT. Definitely should have been spraying some BT. Because, yeah, everything is just... Some of them have gone to seed. These went to seed. These are ones I planted back in the spring, but... These were broccoli. I don't know, maybe I could still spray them and get something. This is just insane. Yeah, this stuff is... I don't know anymore. Let's see how many cabbages down here are doing. They're starting to get ahead. A little bit of ahead. I could probably still spray and maybe get something. My purple broccoli. Got a little one. Oh my. Someday I'll get the hang of maintaining my cabbages. Wasn't this year though. Oh, and this stuff. Virginia creeper. That's what this is called. I forgot what it was called last time, but someone told me. But yeah, this stuff is just makes me mad. There's some of it there too, so I gotta get in there and get it. All right. But up there are my dwarf beds. Let's go back and I'll show you those. Did plant some celeries that are doing okay on the edge here. Cabbage crowded out the one and only little beet I had. Well, I've got a couple little beets there, but I don't think it's going to do anything now. But yeah, so this is row tomatoes, this row tomatoes, peppers. I'm going to do a tour. I put another thing. You can see some little ones there that got into the beer. So I definitely want to put out some more beer traps for these slugs. So I was planting flowers and things in the front here, picking slugs off of those too. If it wasn't so rainy, the slug pressure might not be so bad. But here's my dwarf bed, doing great. A little bit of pest or a little bit of disease here, so I'm going to be pruning and tying up more today. More tomatoes. That's Loxton Lass. Flowers everywhere. They're just, look at this one. Tons of flowers. This is probably my biggest one. It's reached the top of the trellis. So, and I just tied it up Sunday, and now it's, yeah. But over here I do have a couple more dwarves and then some squash. A basil, some carrots that I planted with some onions. Oh, look, my onions are bulbing up. That is so cool. So I got like 3 onions. But yeah, got lots of squash. I believe this is the round squash again. This one didn't get pollinated, it looks like. Or it's got some pest damage. Might have got pollinated, but it's gross. We'll just get rid of that. But yeah, we've got several. This one's nuts. And then we've got a squash right here coming on. And some flowers, and that's a cucumber beetle. Bye-bye. But my hill over here has some cool stuff growing on it. So this is where I dump my chicken manure. I clean out my chicken coop every year. So there's hollyhocks. There's tomato plants. There's different flowers that are growing right there. So one of these days I'm gonna have this whole hill just covered in wildflowers. This just needs to be cleaned up. That's that bed that was the strawberry/asparagus bed. I have little baby asparagus popping up everywhere, which I am here for it. I'm just letting them go, and I'm going to attempt to try to move some of them to my other strawberry asparagus bed over there, which is where I actually want my strawberry and asparagus to be. This bed is just, it's far too much for me to handle with strawberries. I don't need that many. So I'd rather be growing something else. More brassicas, perhaps. I don't know, we'll see. More tomato plants. I'm gonna go over and finish up that side first and show you, and then I'll come over here. So we have basil, we have marigolds, another basil. We have, these are new, I just planted these. So I literally just tied these up, and now they've fallen off of the trellis, so these tomato plants are just driving me nuts. Snapdragons here that I just planted. I have another basil. So yeah, these need to be tied up. Tomato plant. Tomato. Yeah, I need to get to it, so I'm gonna try to finish up this garden tour. Oh my gosh. There's that edible chrysanthemum. And my sunflowers here are doing lovely. They're huge. Another giant squash there. So I separated my backyard tour. Here's the hollyhocks and the strawberry bed, which I've actually propagated some runners from my green stalks down to here, hoping to get some more established. But you can see all of the baby asparagus popping up there. But yeah, here's a view from the top. Sun is out. My plants are going to go nuts with the sun because I haven't had sun in like a week. Over in this is my peach tree. I'm not great with pruning yet. I actually don't think, I pruned it back fierce last year, so I don't think I'm getting any peaches off of it this year. I think it's just trying to recover from what I did to it last year. And then I have a Yantar ground cherry right here. This thing is reaching for the sun over there. And a coleus that I planted right here in the corner, which not getting too much sun, so it's not growing too fast. But I thought it was really pretty. It's like a fern. Is it the fern? I'm not sure which coleus this is, but it's so pretty. I love coleus. And again, more tomato plants that have fallen down because I can't keep up with the trellising. But look at these bad boys. Getting big. That's Hunk Papa. Hunk Papa. And what we got here? This one here is Old Yellow Candy Stripe. So last night in this bed here, this squash, I pulled a small baby-sized squash from it. So I hope it continues to put on fruit because it was huge. What you want to do is you want to harvest your squash and things young so that your plant keeps flowering. Some pepper plants here. I'm going to do a tour, I promise. I did start the cleanup of underneath, and we removed the old hammock, so I just need to do this little swath area here and bring in new sand. That bed, again, everything is lush. I will be saving seeds from these. All these little pods are full of seeds. And I believe this is a turnip or rutabaga. One of the two. Haven't started work on the fire pit yet, but we did get a new fire pit ring because this one is done for. So we got a new fire pit ring. Kale I've been making. I made zuppa toscana soup. I don't know if you eat at Olive Garden, but they have this soup. It's like hot sausage and potatoes. It's delicious with kale, and I've used a ton of this in that. I made a huge batch of it. And I'm gonna make kale salad today because I've got a bunch of different kales that are just, they're lovely. Here's my green twister coneflower. It's getting ready to flower. It's not very big. Coneflowers usually get pretty big. This one isn't. And then here I have got tons of flowers on my, these are my eggplants. I think I took a picture of this bed, so I will throw up a picture of what this looked like the last time I showed you this bed. Yeah, I think I've got baby eggplants on this. Look at all the flowers. Yeah, look at that little baby eggplant. Another little baby eggplant. So cool. I'm so excited. And there'll be tons of them. Tons of them. Another squash. Ooh, that needs harvested. Give it a little twist. That one, I may go ahead and harvest it too. Anything else need harvested? Here's a beautiful zinnia. Oh my gosh. Look at this. It's a queen. Is it queen lime? Which one is this one? Queenie lime orange. So I actually got this at a nursery. I didn't start this one from seed. I got a basil over there that's going to seed in the corner there. This zinnia here I did start myself, and it's doing great. I'm so excited for it. More dwarves. I actually started these from seed. These are a marigold. I can't remember which one. Once it flowers, I'll be able to tell. But those I started from seed, and I'm excited that they're doing so well. There's one there, and then there's one like over. You can't even see anymore. I can't get into anything. There's a borage here I want to show you all. It's absolutely stunning. Weeds, I need to weed that. That's a mess. But yeah, there's the hill with all the cool. There's lettuces popping up. There's basil. There's like a hollyhock. But yeah, tomato plants everywhere, tomato plants. But my stick plants need some tying up. They're sad looking. But here, I want to show you this basil. But like, let me just give you a quick overview. I don't know if I'm going to do another backyard tour. Yeah, like lots of kales. I did this in my backyard tour. So there was a garden tour and backyard tour. But this is a quick view. The pink right there, you see, that's the French hollyhock. Kale that went to seed. Look at all these zinnias. These are all zinnias. These are the candy cane zinnias, and I started all of these from seed. Oh, I'm going to try to save seeds from them this year, but I'm so excited. They're doing so well. I actually winter sowed these. I don't do that great sometimes with like zinnias and nasturtiums, like the pests get to them when they're seedlings. So this year I tried to let them get a little bigger, a little more established before I planted them out. But here's the borage. This is a variegated borage. It's called Bill Archer. And it is just so pretty. And then another zinnia that I started from seed that's just kind of shaded, so it's not really getting going just yet. What else can I show you? I don't know how long this video is. Probably ridiculously long. I might need to do a backyard tour, but I'll just give you a quick look around of what's getting bigger. This is something new I planted, and they're already flowering. Awesome. Double sunset gaillardia. Pretty. snapdragons. Oh, my snapdragons. I need to prune back my butterfly bushes again. My pots are doing well. As you can see, all kinds of things popping up. See all the rain we got yesterday. I dumped these yesterday. I dumped these Tuesday night when I got home from work, and then we got rain again Wednesday. That's how much rain we got, to where they're almost filled up. So I need to dump those so they're not sitting in water. But as you can see, my garden towers, my green stalk towers, they're getting a little bit of disease. I keep pruning off the diseased leaves. These were pretty infested with aphids. I think that the molasses and the, but yeah, you can see there's fruits on everything. I think that you can see little white flecks, those are all aphids. White aphids and pink aphids is what I'm having a big issue with. I did not really get that many strawberries from my strawberry towers. I don't know whether it was the type of, I think that they're just trying to get established, or maybe I was putting too much fish emulsion, the nitrogen. Because as you can see clearly, they made tons of suckers, which is probably the nitrogen, which I'm not mad about, because I have been propagating them, which is fantastic for me. So I do want to get a couple more green stalks, the yellow ones, which I need to do soon. Oh my gosh, look at the cluster of tomatoes on that one. Which one is that one? Baby boomer. But yeah, so I'm thinking that I should get that fairly soon and then just put all of these suckers in it. Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe I just over-fertilized with nitrogen, which, whatever. I'll remember next year not to be watering these with so much fish emulsion, because I didn't get a lot of, or it could be that they were just trying to get established. I just planted them. I mean, there's some flowers on here, on some of them. And then here I planted this last year, a foxglove. I didn't realize that this is what it was, but as you can see, it's a beautiful foxglove that is taller than I am now. And I stuck some coleus in these pots. I don't think I've showed coleus, and then I think these are rudbeckia, which they're trying to take hold, but they don't get a whole lot of light. That's mostly their problem. These pots used to have really pretty green trees, but last year the drought killed them, so I just put some coleus in the center. It's trying to take hold and get bigger than this. These are very drought tolerant, clearly, because they came back. But yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff planted up on my deck too that is doing fantastic. This was a rogue tomato plant. I couldn't find a tag, and I was very curious about it, so I planted it, and it's doing splendidly. It is overpast the stake that I put in it, so I keep trying to trim back this butterfly bush so that it doesn't overcrowd it. You can see what is gone to seed there. That's some sort of, I think, dill that went to seed, or is that a carrot? Carrot and dill went to seed. The eggplants that I put in this pot with the lemon balm are doing splendid. I actually do think that the lemon balm is deterring the flea beetles. So there's that. Take that as you will. I think next year what I'll do is always plant my eggplant in pots with lemon balm underneath, because you can see hardly any damage. There's a little something going on there, but that could be from before I put them in the pot. Like the leaves that got pest damage just got bigger. But yeah, I put some dwarfs in some pots here, dwarfs in pots there, and then I've got dwarfs in pots up here. And this is what I wanted to show you. Oh, new addition. We put lattice around our deck here because we had an incident with a dog drowning in our pool. I mean, he didn't drown, but he was. But we're trying to take measures. We're going to lattice all of this too. We think he went through the rungs. We're not sure how he got in because we have doors, but look at this thing. This is a multiflora. And look, there's so many. These are all flowers that are now going to be tomatoes. It looks like they all pollinated. Oh my gosh, this thing is just covered. It's gonna be covered in fruit. There's some baby fruits there. This is microberry, and it is probably one of my favorite plants this year. I am like, look at the multiflora, like look at the multiflora. I cannot wait till these are all baby maters. And look at the, you can tell all the rain moisture we got. This is nowhere near soil. And you can see all the roots trying to root themselves. That's what those are roots. And then I have my African blue basil underneath of it. Just things in these pots are doing really well. So I may go back to Dollar Tree and try to get more variegated tomato plant. Is that not gorgeous? This is Jill in a box. Oh my lord, gorgeous. But yeah, you can see my pots are doing well. And then I did the last of the winter sowing jugs. I was having an issue with Rudbeckia and what was this, Shasta daisy getting eaten up once I planted them. So I put them up here to get them established, and they're doing pretty well. So I just kind of separated them all out and put them in pots, and it looks like the slugs haven't made their way up here yet. So I've got some in bigger pots to try to get them going a little quicker, a little faster. But yeah. Oh my gosh. So this garden tour, I don't know. I might have to split it up into part 1 and part 2 because it's nuts, isn't it? I didn't even show you everything, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the 2-hour tour. Oh, I gotta show you one more thing. My sunberry. This is sunberry. So I got these seeds from Matt's Peppers. Every year for the past 2 years, I've ordered from him where I get my hot peppers, hot pepper varieties. And last year he had a plant that was a multiflora like this one, and it was called, what was it called? I don't remember, but I loved it. And then this year he had something called sunberry. He didn't have the multiflora one that I liked so much, but he had sunberry, so I got it, and I'm so excited for it. Look at these, they're so cute, and it's just covered in fruits now. I did end up putting these, are these holding water? Yeah, they're holding water because these kept drying out. They dry out so quickly, so I did put them in, they fit almost perfectly in a 10 by 20 tray. So hopefully these will flourish now. What I want to get is I want to get self-watering pots, and just, I want more, I want way more because I want to plant things everywhere. Okay, that's going to be it. I promise. I'm done. I'm done showing you things. I will try to update you again. I know with another garden tour with more things next time that are doing well. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Share this video. Please share this video on your Facebook page. Yeah, help me out. It would help me grow my channel, which then in turn gives me more motivation to make more videos. So enjoy your day, everyone.